For the next 100 days, I'll be surviving in a hardcore Minecraft world where every mob is a boss. My Minecraft skills will be pushed beyond my limits as I encounter empowered creatures around every corner. Will I be able to overcome the overworld, nether, and finally the end? Or will I get slain in the process? It was time to find out as I spawned into the overworld in a plains biome. Feathers were scattered all over the ground, but there wasn't a chicken in sight. I've never seen a plains biome like this before. What's going on? Suddenly, a massive raptor-like chicken emerged before me. I had never seen anything like it. Without hesitation, the beast attacked me with its unique powers. I wanted to defend myself, but I had no weapons. I was gonna die, and it was only day one. I made a run for it, but the rooster raptor chased after me in the sky. That thing can fly? How am I supposed to escape? Suddenly, I spotted spider webs. I have to stop that thing in its tracks. I stood by the webs, waiting for the right moment. Just as the chicken swooped down to get me, I moved out of the way, trapping it in the webs. It struggled to break free, buying me enough time to get some wood and craft a sword along with other tools. The chicken broke out of the webs and came for me. I used my wooden sword to fight back, but it was still too strong. Soon, the oversized bird cornered me inside of a mineshaft. Just as I thought I was done for, a terrifying creeper snuck up behind it, blowing up and killing the beast for me. What was that about? Upon its death, it dropped the letter. Welcome to the world of bosses. If you wish to survive for 100 days, you must slay the bosses of the overworld, the nether, and finally the end. But that chicken was just the first boss? What's coming next? Suddenly, more creepers like the one that killed the chicken arrived to kill me next. I fled deeper into the mines as the mobs crawled after me. On day 2, I blocked off the creepers using blocks in my inventory, trying to keep the creepers at bay. I gotta keep moving. Who knows how long it'll take for them to find me? I mined deeper, finding coal and cobblestone so I could continue upgrading my tools. Suddenly, the ground under my feet exploded. The creepers had found me. I landed in a massive chasm on top of a platform surrounded by lava. There, mutant creepers were surrounding me from all sides. They're smarter than normal creepers. I have to get out of here. Armed with my sword, I tried to slice them down, but they had much more health than a normal creeper. They blew up parts of the platform, leaving me more and more vulnerable to the lava below. This is what common creepers are like in this world? What about the boss? I continued to fight them off, but there were too many for me to take on at once. Luckily, I found an opening and decided to take it. I platformed over the lava and made it through to the other side of the chasm, where I was able to escape for now. However, I instantly found myself inside of a strange den. There, a creeper unlike anything I had seen before reared its ugly head towards me. There he is, the boss creeper. Without warning, the monster charged towards me. On day 3, I was fighting it out with the Creeping Crusher. Although I was armed with a sword, he was too powerful to defeat with my current gear. His close-range attacks were insanely strong. The Creeping Crusher used his explosive attacks to blow up our surroundings. Soon, he revealed a spider's nest, leaving some string in its wake. Wait a second, I have feathers from the raptor rooster, but I need to distract the creeper first. I noticed a part of the ceiling had been damaged by his explosions, giving me an idea. I lured him towards it and taunted him to go for the next attack. Using his own powers against him, he attacked and caused the ceiling to collapse. He was buried in rubble, buying me just the time I needed. Now's my chance! I grabbed the string and placed down a crafting bench, creating a bow alongside some arrows. The creeper boss broke out of the rubble and attacked again, but now I was armed with a ranged weapon. Come and get me if you can! I fired my arrows at him, staying far enough away that I could avoid taking heavy hits. Just as I was getting an edge in battle, the creeper stopped in his tracks. Something was wrong. Oh no, he's self-destructing! The creeper exploded in an attempt to take me down with him. On days 4 through 7, I was running out of the collapsing mineshaft. I avoided the falling rubble, but as I did, I spotted an interesting player. I couldn't get a closer look or I'd be crushed to pieces. Did you see that? There are loads of other secrets hidden throughout the video. Be sure to find them all. Finally, I made it outside in one piece. However, the sun had set and it was now night. Oh no, I need to find shelter until morning. Who knows what sort of insane mobs are lurking around this world? I began to build a makeshift shelter when I heard the groans of zombies coming from behind. Empowered zombies arrived to attack as an army. I used my weapons to fight them off until I managed to finish my shelter. I quickly ran inside and shut the door behind me. I just need to wait here until morning. They'll burn up in the sun. Just then, one of the zombies melted one of my walls. These weren't just regular zombies. They had super abilities. Oh my gosh, these zombies can dissolve building blocks. I escaped my house and ran into a forest biome trying to outrun the zombie attack. However, in my panic, I accidentally found myself face to face with an Enderman. I foolishly made eye contact with it, but to my surprise, it transformed into a terrifying form unlike anything I had seen before. I had accidentally encountered the next boss. On days 8 through 10, I was fighting against the Enderwalker. The Enderman teleported around me at great speeds, striking me with swift attacks. I tried my best to evade them, but he was too fast to avoid. I was getting overwhelmed by his strength. I have to run and regroup. It's the only way! Out of options, I began to run deeper into the forest biome as the terrifying boss followed in hot pursuit. I arrived at a waterfall, but when I thought the Enderwalker was about to strike again, he stopped in his tracks. Instead, he fired projectiles from afar, too scared to get close. Wait, he can't touch water without taking damage. It's time to make a splash. Before the Enderman could get closer, I dove into the water to take cover. There, I set up a furnace and began to cook up iron ingots. The Enderman continued to fire projectiles at me, but I did my best to dodge them. Come on, just a little longer! Finally, the iron ingots were completed. I crafted a bucket, filled it with water, and returned to land. The Enderman teleported up close to strike, but armed with my water bucket, I sloshed him with the water. He recoiled in pain, allowing me to have enough time to knock him into the water below. He drowned, and I won the battle. These bosses are getting stronger. What else is waiting for me next? Just then, I realized I was beginning to starve after so many fierce battles. I needed to search for food before it became lethal. On days 11 through 14, I took cover inside of a village where I managed to find a chest full of bread. Score! I gathered up as much food as I could until suddenly I heard a strong voice behind me.
Who dares to raid my chest?
I turned around and realized I was face to face with a villager boss. Even villagers are enemies? This world is insane! He used his smash attack, forcing me to jump back into battle. I fought him off with attacks of my own, but his powerful size and strength were hard to beat. I needed something to give me an edge in battle. I raided more chests for supplies as the villager continued his attacks.
You dare to steal more from me, you fool!
Finally, I managed to find flint and crafted myself a flint and steel. Just then, the villager burst through the building with his massive size. Luckily, I was now armed with a new weapon. Take this! I used my tool to set fire to the wooden structure of the village. It spread quickly, forcing the villager back.
No! My village!
He tried to extinguish the flames, but it was no use. I continued attacking until finally he was defeated. Upon his death, he dropped an emerald sword, which I claimed for myself. I've never seen a sword like this. This could definitely come in handy. Suddenly, the ground trembled violently under my feet. A massive iron golem boss arrived at the scene ready to defend the village.
Must kill the intruders.
Guess it's time to test this weapon out. On days 15 through 17, I was fighting off the Iron Golem boss that protected the village. He used his Iron Golem attacks on me, while I tried to slash him down with my new Emerald Blade. Even with my new sword, his armor was tougher than the villagers. I couldn't seem to crack him without taking massive damage. If only he was smaller, I could use the pillar method for a critical blow. The Iron Golem boss smashed into the ground, creating blocks in his wake. Just then, I got an idea. But who said it had to be a small pillar? I gathered up the blocks and used them to begin building a pillar high up into the air.
You won't get away with that.
He tried to strike down the pillar, but I managed to keep him at bay with my bow and arrows. Soon, I was high enough overhead to strike. I leapt down and landed the finishing blow, hitting him for critical damage. The Iron Golem fell in defeat, leaving iron ingots in his wake. Looks like I'm covered for the rest of this run. Just then, arrows flew into the village, forcing me into cover. I looked off into the distance and realized the village was being raided by boss pillagers. Uh-oh, with no Iron Golem, it looks like I brought it even more trouble. The empowered pillagers raided the village, coming after everything that remained.
There has to be some good loot left here. Everyone move.
I stayed hidden as they scoured for what remained of the village. But suddenly, I realized something. There's bound to be even more challenging bosses coming. I should see what kind of gear is back at their pillager outpost. I decided to tail behind them until they led me back to their base. I began to raid it for everything I could, getting some armor in the process. Just then, I was discovered by one of the boss pillagers.
Intruder!
I used my emerald sword to fight off the hulking pillager beast. He smashed into me with powerful bludgeoning attacks, but thanks to my armor, I was able to endure the hits. Just as I thought I was about to win, however, the pillager ran for a lever, sounding an alarm.
You may have defeated me, but you won't defeat our Ravager!
Suddenly, a terrifying raptor boss burst through the wall, running full speed towards me. I braced myself as I realized this battle was just getting started. On days 22 through 25, I was clashing with the Ravager boss. He blitzed me with his earth-shattering stomp attack, as well as his upgraded Evoker Fang powers, overwhelming me with his speed and strength. I used my emerald sword to try and fight back, but this beast was a powerful foe. His armored body was tough to slash through, and his speed made him hard to pin down. I can't get a clean hit in! I need to slow him down somehow. Suddenly, I spotted another structure in the Pillager outpost, and it gave me an idea. Hey Ugly, come and get me! Blinded by rage, the monster rushed towards me. Right before I was hit, I dodged, causing the Ravager to crash into the building. Olay! His horns were lodged into the structure, leaving him vulnerable. I ran forward and struck him with my emerald sword, defeating the pillager pet once and for all. When he died, the Ravager dropped a note. The Dark Protector of the Overworld lies asleep, waiting for his next challenger. Anyone who wishes to survive until day 100 in this world must slay the unlikable beast. That sounds like the final boss of the Overworld. He must be super strong if he's really this mysterious and unkillable. I have to get more gear if I want to win. I made my way around the Pillager outpost, looting everything I could. In the final chest, I found a set of armor enchanted with water breathing and a treasure map. This could lead me to just the gear I need. I followed the treasure map, hoping to find some good gear for the intense battle ahead. On days 26 through 28, the treasure map led me into the ocean. Luckily, I had my new armor to keep me from drowning while searching for the treasure. That treasure has to be around here somewhere. Suddenly, a trident flew past me, almost hitting me. I whipped around and saw a horde of mutant drowned menacing me. Even the drowned in this world are crazy strong. I have to get out of here. I swam away as fast as I could, as they continued to attack. Unfortunately, I was on their home turf, and they could swim much faster than I possibly could. Soon, the waterlogged zombies managed to surround me. They began hitting me with slam and trident attacks, and I tried to fend them off, but there were too many. At this rate, I won't make it to day 100. I need to find cover. Just then, I noticed a nearby shipwreck. I swam as fast as I could and took cover inside the shipwreck. The drowned bashed the hull of the ship, but it seemed like they couldn't get in. Soon, things went from bad to worse as their banging awakened something even more terrifying. The seafloor shook as a massive squid boss emerged from the depths. I watched in horror as the monster slaughtered the drowned around me. I can't let that thing see me. I have to find the treasure and get out of here. On days 29 through 32, I was forced to sneak through the shipwreck as the Kraken lurked outside. It peered through the cracks in the ship, and I quickly took cover before I was spotted. Come on, it has to be around here somewhere. I opened chests full of materials, but only one had anything truly useful. A diamond pickaxe enchanted with efficiency, as well as a golden helmet with better respiration and aqua affinity. As I admired my new items, I noticed something strange outside the boat, but it was smashed by a tentacle before I could get a better look. Did you see that? Rewatch at 0.25 speed and let me know what got smushed. Finally, I discovered the treasure. I opened it, but to my shock, there was only another map inside. What the? Ocean Monument? Could the real treasure be hidden here instead? Suddenly, the wall exploded as the Kraken found me. I braced myself for battle. Without wasting a moment, the Kraken unleashed his ink beam attack on me, sending me staggering backwards. I fought back with my sword attacks, but his strength was too much to handle. He was even stronger than the drowned. I knew it was a losing battle. I swam away as fast as I could as the Kraken gave chase. I escaped into a cave when all of a sudden, I felt a force pulling me downwards. I looked and realized that I had swam over magma blocks. Wait, that gives me an idea. With all my power, I managed to escape the pull of the magma blocks. I swam out, intent on luring the Kraken my way. Hey there, tentacle face! Bet you can't catch me! With a roar, it charged. I dodged out of the way, and the Kraken was pulled down into the deadly blocks below, where he got burnt until he perished. I had to get that weapon at any cost. Don't let me down, map. On days 33 to 35, I arrived at the Ocean Monument and swam inside to find the next weapon waiting before me. I was amazed that I actually found it. There it is! You're all mine! Just before I could grab a hold of it, a terrifying guardian boss burst into the monument with a lethal ram attack. He used his blood-slash attacks on me, trying to keep me at bay, but I dodged. I fought back with my sword attacks, but he was even tougher than the Kraken before him. I wasn't sure how it was possible, but these bosses were getting meaner and more powerful. I can't win like this! I need that new weapon or I'm toast! I tried to go for the weapon as the guardian boss fired his blood attacks in my direction, causing me to have to dodge out of the way as I swam. I managed to grab a hold of it. As the guardian lunged forward, I used my new weapon to strike back. Knowing that I finally stood a chance, I stood my ground and fought. It didn't take long for me to strike him down once and for all. One step closer to defeating the final Overworld boss. It was then that my stomach grumbled. I realized I was hungry, but I was running out of food. I retreated to the surface before swimming could use up more of my hunger. On days 36 to 39, I returned to the surface hungry and completely out of bread. I needed to search for food, and quickly. I went to a village, only to find that their farms had been entirely destroyed by something. What happened here? It looks like a tornado blew through. Suddenly, I heard a low growl and turned as a minotaur charged right at me. I didn't have time to react. I took a heavy hit, but thankfully survived, and suddenly realized that I was face to face with a cow boss. I clashed with the enraged cow as he tried his best to kill me. He used his massive axe attacks on me as I tried my best to withstand the blows. I fought back with my own slashing attacks, but he was tougher than I anticipated. This is supposed to just be a cow! This world is insane! Fighting made my hunger drop even more. I was dangerously low now and couldn't even sprint. The Cow Crusader used this to his advantage. He mowed me down with his sheer speed, leaving me on the ropes. I have to find something to eat. Anything! I lured the oversized cow into some nearby trees. Toro, come and get me! The bull got even angrier and charged right at me, causing him to crash into the tree. They dropped saplings and apples! I immediately picked them up and chowed down. It was just the extra boost I needed, allowing me to dodge out of the way of a killing blow. Die, beast! I slayed the cow. He dropped a special-looking steak along with other normal ones. I ate the steak. Surprisingly, I gained hearts as if I had just eaten a golden apple, and they were permanent. That's just what I needed. I should be good on food for a while. Before I could get too comfortable though, I heard more villager enemies in the distance. Not wanting to deal with them, I left before they could spot me. On days 40 to 43, I arrived in a jungle biome when I heard footsteps behind me. Is something stalking me? I tried to lay low when I heard something again. Suddenly, an ocelot beast lunged out of the foliage after me. I leapt into the vines, narrowly avoiding the cat. That thing isn't messing around. I gotta get out of here before I become cat food. I avoided the ground as the ocelot continued chasing me. With a roar, he shook the earth, knocking me off of the vines. I was vulnerable, meaning he was able to attack me freely. I had to think fast. I have an idea! I took out my flint and steel, then set the forest on fire. The flames quickly spread through the greenery. It fled. Yeah, that's what you get! My celebration was cut short as the entire jungle froze over with me in it. Hey, what gives? An Iceager stepped forward.
Well, if it isn't the player that annihilated my outpost.
On days 44 to 46, I was face to face with the Iceager boss.
For destroying the Pillager outpost, you will die here.
Luckily, I managed to break out of the ice before he fired a deadly ice blast at me. I fled as he fired attacks at me.
Get back here, you slippery fiend!
The ground was frozen solid, making it very difficult to navigate as I ran. Suddenly, the Iceager teleported in front of me.
You won't escape!
He tried to hit me with a frost attack, but I narrowly managed to dodge it. That's it! If you won't leave me alone, then I'll make you! I fought back with my weapon attacks. The frozen battlefield made it difficult to land clean hits though. I know what I need to do. I quickly took cover and crafted a shield. I finished just in time to deflect his attacks too. His magic was sent right back at him. He was unable to dodge, and his own powers froze him solid. Not wasting a beat, I ran up full speed and struck him down for good. These bosses are tough. My armor's about to break. If I'm gonna live to see day 100, I need to upgrade soon. I took my pickaxe and decided to brave the mines, unsure of what terrifying bosses lurked in the shadows. On days 47 to 50, I was mining, looking for diamonds to craft myself some better armor. It took a while, but finally I hit a vein of them. Score! Excitedly, I mined them out. When I did though, I realized that a skeleton boss was lurking on the other side of them. Where'd you come from? It launched arrows at me, immediately breaking through what remained of my brittle armor. Even normal skeletons in this world are strong as bosses. I have to take this thing down before it hits me again. I rushed forward and clashed with the skeleton, trying my best to get in close. Despite my effort, it walked backward as it used its ranged attacks, trying to play keep away. The only way to beat this thing is with brute force. I found an opening and lunged at the skeleton. Just as I was about to be slain, I made one last-ditch effort to kill it. If I'm going down, you're going with me! I leapt at the skeleton, pushing us both to fall into a deep ravine and into the chasm below. On days 51 to 54, I hit the bottom of the chasm, but to my surprise, spiderwebs broke my fall. The skeleton wasn't so lucky and died from fall damage. Is this an abandoned mineshaft? Hello? Is anyone here? Suddenly, spiders crawled out from the crevices, hungry for flesh. Easy now, I don't taste as good as you think. I managed to destroy some nearby webs before they could cause problems. I braced myself for the next battle. I fought off hordes of spiders while avoiding their webs. They were tougher than normal spiders. I'll squash all of you if I must. I used my blade to kill one after the other, but more and more kept coming. What gives? Why are there so many of you? I retreated down one of the passages and found the eggs scattered around the caverns. As long as those eggs are here, I won't win this fight. I have to kill them from the source. Here goes nothing. I ran deeper into their turf until I arrived at a massive area full of eggs and webs. Just then, their queen emerged before me, enraged at my trespassing. On days 55 to 57, I was engaged in battle with the queen of spiders. She used her poison attacks on me, trying to kill me swiftly. I fought back with my new weapons, but she was tougher than the other spiders I fought, leading up to the nest. I tried to make some space between us, but she trapped me in her web. Oh no, I can't move! This web is way stickier than the other! I struggled, but she was quickly closing in. I used my bow and arrow for extra damage. I hit her in the eye, buying me enough time to escape the webs and find cover. I can't beat her like this. I need to land a heavier attack or I'm done for. Just then, I spotted a minecart holding TNT. It's risky, but this just might work. I have to try. I used my flint and steel to light it on fire and push it down the tracks, bracing myself for impact. The cart exploded, taking the queen down with it. Unfortunately, the mineshaft around me became unstable. I have to get out of here. I tried to escape before it collapsed, but I ended up falling into the unstable floor below. On days 58 to 61, I fell even deeper into the depths of the mine, only to land in an ancient city. I have a bad feeling about this place. I feel like something is watching me. I crept through the ancient city, but I suddenly stepped on a skull shrieker, creating a massive amount of noise. Suddenly, a terrifying warden boss crawled out from the depths looking for me. He was undoubtedly the final boss of the overworld. He began searching the area for me. I laid low, trying not to get spotted. Just then, I realized, like a normal warden, it was blind. I could use this to my advantage. I have to be quiet. One wrong noise and that beast will kill me. I stealthed through the ancient city in search of an exit. Finally, I found a passage, but it was blocked by skull shriekers. Looks like I'm gonna have to go another way. I turned around and the warden was standing right behind me. Gah! I accidentally stepped on a skull shrieker again, giving away my location. No time for running. Looks like I'm fighting this one out. I braced as the warden charged in. On days 62 to 64, I was fighting the final boss of the overworld. His strength was unlike any other boss I faced so far. Just like a normal warden, he was strong, but in his form, he was 1,000 times stronger than I could ever imagine. I used my sword attacks while he hit me with sonic booms. I've come too far to die here. I won't give up without a fight. Come and get me. I used my weapon attacks to try and strike down the beast, but he took everything I threw at him like it was nothing. Man, this guy is no joke. I had to make every move carefully or I'll die here. I did my best to slash the beast whenever I could find an opening, even taking the time to finally build a new set of diamond armor. Slowly, I began to overpower the boss until finally he was left weak. Just one more hit and that should do it. I went in for the final blow, but he struck me down instead, leaving me with low health. I can't mess this up. I only have one shot to finish this. I charged in versus the warden. Luckily, I managed to land the hit before he did, winning the battle. He dropped a rare chaos sword, replacing my emerald sword for a huge upgrade. A portal then appeared before me. The overworld is complete, but my journey is only just beginning. I have to see what terrifying bosses await me in the Nether. I then passed through the portal. On days 65 to 67, I arrived on the other side of the portal and in the Nether. I would now be faced with an entirely new realm of challenges, all awaiting me here. I wonder what bosses are coming up next. Before I could finish my thought, a horde of empowered piglins came rushing over to me. They started to attack me with their clubs. What gives? I just got here. I had no choice but to try and fight them off as they continued to hit me with their weapons. Some even started shooting me with a volley of arrows. These piglins were nothing like their regular counterparts. They were much stronger hitters. I started to keep them at bay with my new Warden upgrade, trying to take them down one by one. While I was fighting, I thought I saw someone running around in the distance, but I couldn't get a good look at them while in the heat of combat. Did you see that? Rewatch the video at 0.25 speed and try to find it. I was finally starting to get the upper hand in this battle, when suddenly the ground began to shake. That's not supposed to happen. From the ground came up the reincarnations of the slain piglins. They were now zombified. They aren't going down. I have to run. I punched my way through the horde, giving myself a chance to escape the zombies before I became dinner. However, this wasn't enough, as they continued to tail behind me as I ran. On days 68 through 72, I was chased by a horde of zombie piglins through the Nether. I quickly ducked into a bastion remnant to try and seek shelter. Come on, do these guys ever give up? I moved deeper into the bastion, but I was suddenly struck from behind by a terrifying mob. When I was able to regain my footing, I found that I was faced with the leader of the piglins.
Intruder, die!
He unleashed a flurry of greatsword attacks, intent on vanquishing me from his realm. I fought back hard with my chaos sword attacks, but I couldn't bring him down. He was an unstoppable force. Why are the piglins attacking me anyways? Suddenly, it came to me. Wait, the diamond armor. It was a shot in the dark, but gold could potentially be my way out of this. Quickly avoiding Brutus's attacks, I escaped the main room. I raced through the bastion remnant to loot what I could, picking up 5 gold ingots. With a hastily made crafting table, I managed to craft some golden boots just as the king found me again. As he rushed towards me, he realized I had golden boots equipped. He stopped in his tracks.
Friend?
That actually worked. To my horror, a new monster charged in and knocked King Brutus into the lava.
The old king was weak. I'm the new ruler now, brother.
With a fierce snort, the Hoglin boss charged me. From days 73 to 75, I clashed with my new enemy, Hoglin.
Finally, my time has come to overthrow the piglins.
I tried to show the Hoglin my golden boots. See here? Look, shiny. Friend, right?
That trick won't work on me, brother.
The Hoglin used his acidic attacks to overwhelm me, and it seemed to be working. I tried to attack him with my Warden sword, but even with all the power I'd accumulated over the past 74 days, it still wasn't enough to pierce his thick skin and damage the creature. I have an idea, but I've only got one shot. I quickly ran to the edge of the cliff and called him out. Hey, Tuskface, come and get me!
I'm gonna run wild on you.
The hot-headed pig charged at me, and I sidestepped him to dodge. I watched as he flew over the side of the cliff and plummeted into the lava below. Yes! I won! Now let's see what goodies are hiding here. I began to loot the bastion, soon finding a fire resistance potion. This could help later, but hopefully I won't need it. I continued opening chests, finding 16 ender eyes as my ultimate prize. These put me one step closer towards the ender dragon, but I need flame rods next. I departed from the bastion in search of another fortress. On days 76 to 79, I traveled through the Nether in search of a fortress, but soon I was stopped by an ocean of deadly lava. Looks like the only way through this is across. Here goes nothing. Using my blocks in my inventory, I began to build a pathway across. Suddenly, armored gas flew over, shooting fireballs down at me. They nearly knocked me off, but I did my best to avoid their attacks. You're not the only one with ranged attacks! I fired back with my bow and arrows, but to my horror, their armor protected them. Oh no! I need something more powerful to pierce through them! I tried to pick up the pace, avoiding their attacks, but there was just too many of them. I wasn't sure if I was gonna make it. As I was nearing the other side, they hit me, causing me to stumble towards the lava below. Oh no! On days 80 to 83, right before falling straight towards the lava, I managed to throw my fire resistance potion at the ground. I was plunged into the lava, but thanks to the potion, I took no damage. I swam as fast as I could and made it to a small chunk of basalt just before the potion wore off. That was the scariest hot tub ever, and And it looks like I'm stranded on this block now. Suddenly, the area trembled under me as a terrifying Strider boss emerged from the lava. He attacked me with a magma blast, forcing me to take the full blow due to my limited footing. I can't keep taking hits like this. I have to fight back. I jumped around the basalt and tried to make the most of my limited foot space. I clashed with the Strider using what tools I had at my disposal. I barely managed to keep him at bay. He countered with fireball attacks of his own, and soon we were neck and neck. As we fought, I spotted an interesting figure in the distance, but the Strider destroyed it before I could get a better look. Rewatch the video at 0.25 speed and try to find the secret. I managed to land a perfect arrow to their face, finally overpowering him. Instead of finishing him off, I got an idea. I jumped on his back, riding him like a normal Strider. Onwards! The Strider moved forward, carrying me past the lava pit. Whatever is waiting in the fortress, I have to be prepared. Everything here wants to kill me. On days 84 to 86, I made it to the other side of the lava ocean to find the fortress waiting for me. There it is! I should be able to find the flame rods I'm missing. Suddenly, flaming arrows arced in my direction. I looked up and spotted a wither skeleton monster attacking me. Looks like the fortress has defenders. I need to get around this guy. I ran forward, trying to use the natural cover to get in as many shots as I could. The two of us traded blows, but it was much harder for me to dodge his attacks since he had the high ground. If I can get in close, I could knock him down in an instant. I tried to get in closer, but it was tough. A few more hits and my armor would break. What should I do? I'm at a huge disadvantage. Just then, I got a brilliant idea. I removed my helmet and left it on a netherrack as a distraction. The wither skeleton approached the helmet, thinking I was still there. Now, you die! The wither skeleton tried to fight me off, but now that I was within melee range, I had the advantage. I fought him with my empowered sword, striking over and over relentlessly. He matched each of my blows and refused to drop down dead. Take this! I knocked him over the edge, dropping him down into the lava below. I had won! Before I could celebrate, the ground shook as a magma cube boss emerged from where the skeleton had dropped. Uh-oh!
Who dares to disturb my slumber?
On days 87 to 89, I clashed with the magma cube boss. He used his magma bomb on me, burning me straight through my armor. This guy means business! I fought back with my bow and sword, but he was a tough foe. I can't knock this one into the lava to win. I have to fight back with full power. I used my quick moving and wit to try and overpower the massive beast. Unfortunately, he towered over me, making him hard to hit. I thought if I could just get one clean blow on his head, I might be able to win. Here goes nothing. I used my surroundings to climb upwards and struck him down with a direct hit. Wow, I've really gotten stronger over my journey. But this isn't over until I slay the Ender Dragon boss. I headed into the fortress where I saw armored blazes patrolling the area. I took on that boss. These guys should be a piece of cake. I tried to strike one down, but its armor completely deflected my attacks. They're small, but mighty. Run! I ran as they launched fireballs after me. On days 90 to 92, I managed to escape the armored blazes and duck into hiding. I don't want to pick a fight with them. I better lay low. I snuck through the fortress as the area was being patrolled. There were loads of blazes standing in my path, but I ducked from cover to cover, staying clear out of sight. Soon, one of them was walking straight towards me. I had to think fast. I used my bow to create a distraction, causing it to turn the other way around. I was able to slip by as it looked away. These guys are smart. I can't even begin to imagine what the actual boss is gonna be like. Soon, I arrived at the blaze spawner, where I thought I might be able to get my long-awaited blaze rods. Before I had a chance to get any, the spawner summoned a massive blaze unlike any of the others I had faced so far. Looks like I'll have to take down this one if I want flame rods. The boss lunged forward and I braced myself for battle. On days 93 to 95, I was face to face with the Blaze boss. He used his scorching fire attacks to try and take me down. I fought back with my trusty blade, but with his abilities to fly, he was a hard target to hit. He countered back with his super punch attacks, quickly overwhelming me. I was forced to run deeper in the fortress to escape his flames. Surely something useful is around here somewhere. Parts of the fortress were blown up around me as he hunted me down. I dodged his attacks to the best of my abilities, but he was relentless in his pursuit. I found chests that had many different items inside, but to my dismay, it was nothing game-changing. Can't I catch a break? He blasted down another wall, unintentionally revealing a hidden chest. I spoke too soon. This could be just the thing I was looking for. I quickly claimed the chest's contents, giving me a redstone-empowered diamond armor set and a flaming warhammer. Armed with my new gear, I fought back against the Blaze boss one last time. Finally, I was able to strike him down, causing him to erupt with blaze rods. This is more than enough blaze rods to get me to the end. I'll be able to fight the ultimate boss soon, the Ender Dragon. Suddenly, the fortress began to collapse around me. I wasn't sure what was going on and quickly made for the exit. I narrowly escaped the fortress, only to discover a powerful wither boss emerging before me. It was unlike anything else I had faced before. Uh-oh, it looks like I can't leave the Nether until I take care of its final opponent. I braced myself as the final battle of the Nether began. On days 96 and 98, I clashed with the monumental boss, the god of the Nether. He used his elongated wither arms to try and defeat me. It was difficult to evade his attacks as I didn't know what to expect. I used everything in my arsenal to try and defeat him. He hit me with a devastating wither attack, leaving me with low health. How am I gonna win this? I made it so far, but will I not get to face the Ender Dragon? The Enderman teleported up close to strike, but armed with my water bucket, I sloshed him with the water. He recoiled in pain, allowing me to have enough time to knock him into the water below. He drowned and I won the battle. No, I can't give up here. I pulled myself up and quickly thought of a plan to stop the Wither. I realized that the Wither's attacks were destroying everything they hit. It gave me an idea. Hey, mummy face, over here! I lured him into an area where there were plenty of rocks looming over his head. I baited him to attack the wall. His attack destroyed the rocks, causing the ceiling to collapse onto his head for massive damage. Now's my chance while he's weak. I rushed in with a plunging attack, finally landing the killing blow. The Wither was defeated. It left behind a portal to the Overworld, alongside a bunch of netherite. Yes! All that's left is the ultimate boss. Ender Dragon, I'm coming for ya! On day 99, I returned to the Overworld and used my new Eyes of Ender to lead the way. They took me to a forest, and I began to dig down. Soon, I had made it into the Stronghold. I started to explore, and I realized it was infested with the mutant mobs that I had faced previously. I was able to fight them off with my new weapons, and I realized just how far I had come over the course of my journey. I remember when these mobs were tough like bosses. I'm gonna take on something far tougher now. I began to prep for the final battle, looting the Stronghold and crafting items that I needed, as well as upgraded my armor to netherite with the metal dropped by the Wither in the days prior. I'm not sure if this boss is anything like the traditional Ender Dragon, but I need to be prepared. As I scoured the Stronghold, I spotted something. Did you find all the hidden secrets? Be sure to rewatch the video from the beginning and comment below where they're hidden. Finally, I found and activated the end portal. The final boss was just beyond there. It's time for the ultimate challenge. I leapt through the portal, goal clear in my mind. On day 100, I arrived in the end. I began to build my way to the center. Suddenly, the ground began to shake as the Ender Dragon descended onto me. It's time to finally end this! I charged into battle, beginning the fight. The Ender Lord had explosive magical shard attacks, proving him to be far stronger than a normal Ender Dragon. I tried to shoot down the End Crystals, but the Ender Lord roared, reviving them. At this rate, he'll be able to heal forever. How am I supposed to stop him? The Ender Dragon came at me with a Dragon's Breath attack, but I managed to survive thanks to my armor. I tried to knock down the pillars themselves instead. Eventually, there was nowhere for the End Crystals to respawn. My plan seemed to work. Time to battle on my own terms. I clashed with the Ender Lord, and the two of us traded heavy blows. He was the strongest foe I had faced, but I had come too far to die on day 100. I finally struck down the dragon, defeating him once and for all. I did it! What's that? Light shone from the Ender Dragon, and I was caught in the blast as he erupted. My body was transformed into an Enderman. Somehow, he had corrupted me with Ender power. What's going on? Is my journey only just beginning? Without time to react, I was teleported away. On day 101,
I spawned in the end as a baby Enderman. Hey, what's up? I was in an end city, and it was under attack by some sort of Shulker monster. I can never catch up Greg! Since I was a baby, I only had 5 hearts. Around me, Endermen were terrified and teleporting, but unfortunately, I couldn't.
The alliance between the Shulkers and Endermen has been altered. You all work for me now.
Yes, Master.
All of the Endermen nearby the Shulker monster transformed into Ender minions and started listening to him.
Son, we have to get out of here, now!
Okay, we ran from the carnage, eventually finding a small hideout. After that, we tried to get some sleep.
On day 102, I woke up.
Still scared about yesterday. Does that mean our kind is evil now?
It seems some of them are, but I don't know for sure.
My dad took me to a chorus fruit forest, where I gathered up as much as I could. I ate a piece, teleporting me to a random spot. Whoa!
I remember the rush of learning to teleport. Once you're older, son, I'll teach you to master it.
Thanks, Dad, for everything. I don't know what I'd do without you. This moment was interrupted by a strange Enderman, who demanded we come with him.
We're staying right here, thank you.
No, you're now a member of the Shulker army.
I'm sorry, but us Endermen have a millennia-long alliance with the Shulkers.
The alliance is dead. You're coming with me.
Suddenly, the Shulker guard started to drag my dad away. Dad!
Find the Elder Farlander. They can train you.
Before I could respond, the Shulker guard teleported away with my dad. I was alone again, but I swore I would find the Elder Farlander and save my dad.
On day 103,
I wandered around dazed and confused. Where am I? Everywhere looks the same! After some traveling, I stumbled upon an end portal. I was about to jump in when I turned around and an Ender Dragon pup was staring at me. Hey, little guy, are you okay? Oh no, I'm so sorry. I felt bad for the dude and didn't want to leave him behind. How about you come with me? I'm going to the Overworld to defeat Lord Shulker. He agreed, so I decided to give him a nickname. How about Enzo? After that, we traveled to the Overworld together. When we arrived, it was really weird. What's up with all this green? Wait, come back! I was insulted. What did I ever do to him? I got over it quickly after spotting some strange liquid. What's that? I jumped in, but it started to hurt me. Ow, 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 ow. I definitely wasn't gonna make that mistake again. After my painful swim, I cut down some trees and made a set of wooden tools. Then I went mining, upgrading to stone tools. Bye, lame wooden pickaxe. I knew I had to make it to the end as soon as possible, but I was gonna need to be stronger first. With a long day over, I called it a night.
on days 104 through 107,
I woke up and ate some of my chorus fruit. Suddenly, I transformed into a full-size adult. Wow, I can see so much more from up here. As an adult Enderman, I now had 20 hearts. I'm even able to teleport further distances now. Woohoo! I was having so much fun, I accidentally teleported super far away. Wait, where am I? I was once again alone and lost, and began searching for a way back to Enzo. Enzo! Enzo! Where are you? I eventually stumbled upon an end portal in the middle of a plains biome. What in the world? Suddenly, an end golem emerged from the portal.
What luck! The Shulker Lord was having me track down all the Endermen that remained in the Overworld.
Not happening, bud. The two of us began to fight. He was huge and sent out powerful attacks that matched his size. However, with my new teleport powers, I was able to evade him. Can't catch me, big guy.
My size isn't just for show.
He managed to land a heavy hit on me, leaving me with low health. I really didn't think I was gonna make it, but I managed to overcome him in the end. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Upon his death, the end golem dropped a map and a note. The war between Shulkers and Endermen has begun. Attached is your campsite. Keep your supplies and rest up here, Lord Shulker.
on days 112 through 115,
I decided to go back to the end to gather materials. I arrived, but it was a shell of what it once was, completely ravaged by the Shulker army. This must be the Lord Shulker's doing. I returned to what was left of the end city and mined for as much materials as I could. I also gathered more chorus fruit, since it's yummy and helps me learn teleportation. A chorus fruit a day keeps the Shulkers away. On the way back to the portal, I spotted a little Enderman being bullied by a huge Enderman.
Come with me, Pipsqueak. The Lord Shulker demands it.
Hey, let him go!
Oh, you've brought friends. You will need to come with me as well.
Never! I began to battle the monster. However, compared to the fight I had with the end golem, it was a breeze. I was able to evade all of his attacks with my teleporting powers. Soup, try harder! I finally managed to take him down. Easy! The monster dropped an ender chest, which would come in handy later. Now I just need one more. Well, would you like to come live at my base? We We returned home together, where I created a bed for ND Jr. to sleep in as well. Afterwards, we went to bed. ND Jr. slept weird.
On days 116 through 119,
I decided to scope out the evil Enderman haunting the village. When I arrived, I found the village was being destroyed by an evil Ender minion. Oh no, I'm too late! I found a villager, barely clinging to life. Is there anything I can do to help you? He quickly dropped me a bow and some arrows. Avenge my people! And then he died. Red-eyed and mad, I went to fight the Ender minion. Hey, what do you think you're doing?
Lord Shulker's sword is almighty.
I tried to reason with him, but he still attacked me. Snap out of it! Lord Shulker is not in charge of you!
Yes, he is.
The fight continued. He was tough too, dealing multiple different types of magic attacks. I had no choice but to fight back, in hopes of breaking his trance. I knocked him out and ran to his side. Please, stand down.
Run!
What? Why?
Just run and hide. The Lord is coming.
I quickly hid and watched from afar when the Lord Shulker appeared.
What do we have here? A deserter? Time to be mind controlled again.
No, sir, please. I have a family. I have a wife.
Who have been turned all the same. I grow tired of this.
Before my eyes, the Enderman I defeated was mind-controlled once again. Lord Shulker then summoned even more mind-controlled Ender minion.
Find more rogue Endermen. I must expand my numbers even more.
I had no choice but to flee in horror. I promised then, though, to return to the end and save my people from this monster.
on days 122 through 124,
I set off to the camp, and unsurprisingly, it was full of Ender minions and Ender golems. Well, now's my chance to investigate. I searched the camp high and low, looting some magenta stained glass, arrows, and iron on the way. Finally, I found an important looking room. I decided to investigate it further and located a chest hidden behind some bookshelves. Inside was a note. We last spotted the Elder Farlander in the Nether. Search parties will continue scanning each dimension thoroughly. Ender Golem. I took the note and went on my way. As I was leaving, an Ender Golem confronted me.
State your business here.
I'm just lost.
Not anymore.
Suddenly, the Ender Golem lunged at me. I teleported away, knowing that enforcements were sure to come. I decided it was best to return back to the base and regroup. So the Elder Farlander is in the Nether.
On days 125 through 127,
I had a dream with the Elder Farlander and my dad. My dad was begging him to take me in.
Elder Farlander, sir, the kid needs guidance.
Max has great powers, and to fully awaken it before its time could bear great danger.
But an accidental awakening could deem even more danger.
Fair point. Tell the boy to follow the light to the House of the Soul Lantern in the Nether. You'll find me there.
Then I woke up. To find the Elder Farlander, I have to find the House of the Soul Lantern? I set out on my journey to find him. Along the way, I was stopped by a villager.
Help me, please! My wife!
I followed him, curious what was going on. When we got to the house, his wife was shaking uncontrollably.
It's been like this for weeks now, and it's getting worse!
That's when the Shulker Lord put a spell on us Endermen. Could it have affected Overworld creatures too? Out of nowhere, the villager began to shake even more wildly, transforming into an Ender minion. Oh my god! Thinking fast on my feet, I crafted a boat and put it down in front of her. Luckily, she got into it, becoming stuck. I'm gonna figure this out, I promise. I'm in search of a man who can help.
on days 128,
I continued my search. The Overworld needed his help now more than ever. I traveled for what seemed like hours and began to feel a bit hopeless. How am I supposed to find some random soul lantern? Suddenly, by total coincidence, I found one laying in front of me. Well, that's convenient. He must be this way. I continued to travel in the direction I was going and found another one. Getting warmer. I traveled even more and found Soul Lantern number 3. Red hot! I pressed on until I discovered the final Soul Lantern. It was next to a giant Enderman Nether portal, covered in endstone. Bingo! This must be the place. I eagerly jumped through the Nether portal. When I made my way through, I found myself staring face to face with a strange end house covered in lanterns. This must be the House of the Lantern.
Yes, it is. State your business, you must.
He looked very different from what I was expecting. Still, I pleaded with the Elder Farlander. My dad told me to find you.
So Xavier's son, you are.
I explained that the Lord Shulker is turning all the Endermen against each other, and is even transforming Overworld mobs into his minions.
Unfortunate that is. I'm too old to fight anymore, but trade you and research a cure, I will.
When does training start?
It just did.
On days 131 through 133,
I continued to train with Elder Farlander. He was no pushover either. Our training sessions were intense. First, he taught me how to move blocks with my mind.
Control. You must learn control.
I used my new ability to fight off Hoglins. This is incredible! Next, he taught me how to teleport with more precision. I was suspended above lava, moving from block to block. I don't like this! Finally, we practiced dodging projectiles. Why am I standing in front of these targets?
All Endermen should be able to avoid measly arrows.
I did my best and was actually pretty good at it, but I also got hit too. Ow! Oh! After our training was over, the Elder said he had something he wanted to tell me.
Friends, Lord Shulker and I once were. He was just a small shulker box when I met him.
Well, now he's just a big jerk.
The Endermen weren't always the best to the shulkers. Much stronger, I thought the Alliance was. We will need to train again soon. But for the meantime, take this.
He gave me a phantasmal blade. Whoa, this is awesome! Thank you so much! I headed back home and tested it out on some mobs. I was able to throw an infinite amount of swords. Sweet!
on days 138 through 140,
I returned to the village to test out my cure on the villager. To my luck, the turned villager was still trapped in my boat. How's she doing?
She's gotten worse. Her screams keep the other villagers up at night.
Well, I think this could do just the thing. I gave her a capsid cube, but instead of curing her, she transformed into a Titan Enderman. That's not the thing I had in mind. I teleported outside, and the Titan Enderman followed. I had no choice but to fight. Yeah! Take this! The Titan was tough, its punches doing a lot of damage. Please, I don't want to hurt you.
The Lord Shulker demands your capture.
Now I knew for sure. He was behind all of this. When I was about to land the final blow, the husband stepped between me and the Titan.
Please stop! She may be a Titan, but she's still my wife. Surely there must be a cure.
You're right. I'll keep looking for a cure. I put the villager back in a boat to make sure she doesn't cause any more damage. I'll figure this out, I promise. I left the village, unfortunately with even more questions than before.
on days 154 through 157,
I started by making a pen for the cows. Afterwards, I traveled to the end to gather more materials for the base. But when I entered, I was surrounded by shulker boxes. Hey, what's going on? They fired at me, causing me to float upward. Whoa, whoa, this is crazy! Take this! Yeah! I floated to the top and then realized I was sealed in a cage. What the? I'm trapped! What is happening? Suddenly, the Lord Shulker appeared.
So you're the troublemaker.
What do you want with me? And what do you want with the Enderman?
It is my time to rule. And you're in my way. Say goodbye.
No! Right when he was about to mind control me, Enzo appeared.
What the?
He broke me free, and we got the heck out of there. Oh, that was close, Enzo. Let's try to get some sleep.
on days 158 through 160,
I woke up and decided to check on the teleporting pig. He was phasing even more uncontrollably. Please don't turn into an Ender minion. I hope that didn't happen, but at the moment, there wasn't much I could do. For the time being, I worked on adding a third layer to the base. It was getting pretty big. You're beautiful! With the building finished, I returned back to the Elder Farlander. I wanted to see if he knew about mind control and how to negate it. Elder, our people are being controlled by the Shulker Lord. Even inhabitants of the Overworld are turning into Ender minions. How do I end this?
I imagine there's a potion I can brew, but it will take some time.
I was disappointed, but hopeful in the Elder. After our conversation, we did some more rigorous training, where I was perfecting my block control. I think I'm getting the hang of this. With my skills improving, the Lord Shulker didn't stand a chance. Training ended, so I headed back home. Now we are closer than ever to saving my people and the Overworld from the evil Lord Shulker.
on days 161 through 163,
I wanted to go back to the end to stop the Lord Shulker. I was about to leave when the snow golem stopped me. I'm kinda in the middle of something important. Okay, I'll see what I can do. He told us where to go, then Enzo and I headed in that direction. When we arrived, we discovered a weird dome-shaped cave with a Cyclops inside. It kinda looks like a snowy meatball. We walked into it, where the Cyclops had captured multiple sheep and snow golems.
Goody. I've been in the mood for some exotic meat, and Enderman will do just fine.
Not if I have something to say about it. We began to fight the Cyclops, but the attacks seemed to do very little against him. We needed to change our game plan. Go for the eye, Enzo! I began using my phantasmal blade to send attacks into the monster's eye. Enzo joined in, using his fireballs. After a fierce battle, we managed to slay the Cyclops. The sheep and snow golems thanked us, saying they thought they were goners. It was no big deal. Well, hey, you guys want to come join our base? We returned home, where I extended the pen for our new sheep residence. Afterwards, I decided to sleep for the night. I had some big plans for the next day, and I needed to rest up.
On days 164 through 167,
I decided to head back to the end to kick some shulker butt. Okay, here goes nothing. Enzo was right. We needed to find a different end portal. Wait a second. There's still that end portal from a few weeks ago. We decided to leave the base to check it out. When we got there, a scary Enderman monster was guarding it. Now what do we do? That guy looks terrifying. Enzo ran down to speak to the monstrous Enderman.
Look at you!
He was actually able to distract the beast, allowing me to sneak past and jump into the end portal. Whoa, where am I? I was in Lord Shulker's castle. Perfect. Time to save my people. I looked around the room, realizing they were well equipped. Netherite swords and tons of armor. God, I want to take some of this, but I don't want them to know I was here. I decided to come back when I was better prepared for the battle. I hopped back into the portal and we snuck back home with our newfound information. Lord Shulker is going down.
on days 168 through 170,
I gathered some more wool and finished up the arms and part of the head of the statue. Almost there. Teleportation has really sped things up. I then used my automatic farm to collect our crops. This thing is so cool! After that, I remembered the villager and her husband, and felt bad that I hadn't found a cure yet. I'm gonna go check on them. I headed back to the village, but when I arrived, everyone had been turned into an ender minion. Oh god, I'm too late! I bolted into a villager's house and began to craft as many boats as I could. I ran around town and began to place them down everywhere. It was actually working! As I did, some of the ender minion villagers tried to attack me. I had to hit them with my sword to get them off. Excuse me! So sorry! I eventually managed to contain the entire town in boats. I'm sorry, everyone. I'll get you a cure as fast as possible. I promise. With a heavy heart, I headed home. But when I arrived, I discovered that Enzo was now shaking his head uncontrollably. No, not you too. Hang in there, buddy. I'm gonna fix this as soon as I can. I called it a day. Ready for a fresh start in the morning.
On days 171 through 174,
I made a diamond pickaxe. It's about time! Then I added another layer to the base. I was loving the look of it. It really feels like I'm in the end. After the expansion, I decided to go exploring. I needed answers to the Lord Shulker's mind control abilities. During the adventure, I stumbled upon a field of cows. Hey guys, how's it going? Man, everyone has been feeling sick. Suddenly, all the cows transformed into ender minions. Oh no! Not you guys too! I didn't have any more boats, so I had no choice but to fight them. I'm sorry! I defeated all the ender minions, upset at what I had to do. Please forgive me, everyone. After the carnage, Lord Shulker appeared.
Why, hello, Max. I have to say you did a number on those cows. I'm so proud of you. We're more alike than I first thought.
I'm nothing like you!
Oh, you will be soon enough.
The Lord Shulker swung his fist, sending me flying into the air. Ah! I was so high up, falling would have been fatal. Ah! I used quick thinking to teleport myself right before I hit the ground. Woo! That was a close one.
on days 175 through 178,
I continued building the statue. I've now started the eyes. Beautiful. Unfortunately, Enzo had now begun to teleport uncontrollably. I'm gonna fix this, buddy. I'll be back soon, buddy. I was beginning to fear he would turn soon, so I decided to return to the Elder Farlander in hopes of him having a cure ready. Things are beginning to look urgent. Have you found a cure yet?
Almost done with the potion I am, but I haven't cracked it just yet.
Aw, man. Suddenly, I remembered the Titan hide I had gotten from my battle at the Colosseum. Wait, I almost forgot. Maybe this could be what you're missing?
Perhaps. Hand it here, and I'll test it out later.
I handed over the hide to the Elder Farlander, but as I was about to leave, he stopped me.
Before you leave, one more potion I have.
Oh? I drank the potion, transforming me into a Mutant Enderman. Now that I'm transformed, I have 30 hearts. Whoa! This is amazing! With this new buff, I was one step closer to ending this once and for all.
On days 179 to 184,
I traveled back home. When I arrived, another two-headed Enderman was waiting for me. I'll have you know we've already killed one of you.
I come with a message. The Lord Shulker is aware of your attempts at suppressing his plans and will no longer allow it.
I don't care what the guy allows and doesn't allow. His people are our allies.
The alliance between the Endermen and Shulkers is dead.
Use your head. No, your heads. You're an Enderman.
Not anymore. I am Shulker, and you will be soon enough.
The two-headed Enderman ran towards us, sending brutal punches down. Hi-ya! Take this, you two-headed weirdo! I'll never give up. The fight was challenging. Luckily, this wasn't our first rodeo with a two-headed Enderman. You could still stand down.
I'm no coward.
He left us with no choice. I went in for the final blow, killing him. Upon his death, he dropped a map with the location of Enderman prisoners. Maybe this is where my dad is. At that moment, I felt even more confident we could stop the Lord Shulker and save my people.
on days 185 through 189,
Enzo and I went back home to check on the pig again. Hey buddy, how are you feeling? Just then, the pig started to convulse rapidly, transforming into an ender minion. No! Piggy! I went to my crafting bench and crafted a boat. Luckily, the ender pig went in with no complaints. I was getting worried that I was running out of time. At this rate, Enzo would turn soon too. I decided to step outside for some air. When I got there, the Elder Farlander was waiting for me. Whoa, hey, you're here?
Yes, Max. And with gifts, I am.
The Elder Farlander handed me some splash potions. They were a cure to the Shulker Lord's mind control. Oh my god, thank you!
With pleasure. Just the ingredient I needed, the Titan hide was.
I quickly gave the potion to the pig, and he was instantly cured. It worked! I then tossed the potion to Enzo. With the cure finally in my hands, I knew I needed to act fast and cure everyone who was cursed by the Shulker. First, I returned to the village and cured everyone there, including the villager and his wife.
Honey, you're okay.
Shortcake, I've missed you so much.
Oh.
Thank you so much for saving our town. Please, take this.
The villager gave me bunny hoppers. Now I can jump higher and don't take fall damage. Wow, thank you so much. This will be really useful to take down the Shulker Lord. That problem was solved, but now I needed to save the rest of the Endermen from the Lord Shulker's grasp. I decided to rest up in preparation for my next mission.
on days 190 through 195,
I woke up to finish the statue. I added glowstone behind each eye, then filled in the remaining magenta stained glass. And with that, the Enderman statue is finally complete. It looks just like me. Next, it was time to gear up. I grabbed everything I would need: weapons, potions, armor, and Enzo. Then we followed the map in search of the Enderman prisoners. When we arrived, we came face to face with the giant arc Enderman guarding the portal to the end. You ready, Enzo? He was easily our toughest competitor yet. With each occasional hit, he spawned pillagers to help him fight. Stay out of this, guys! This is between me and the freakish Enderman. Luckily, Enzo was able to focus on the pillagers, taking all of them out. This left an opening for me, so I went in and took out the monster. We did it! Next, we entered the end. It snuck out of the castle to search for the Enderman prisoners. This way, Enzo. The map led us to a dead-end cliff. Wait, but it says this way. We realized we'd have to fly forward. Let's do this, buddy. After some flying, we found a floating island. Enzo, look! It's the prisoners! We dropped down onto the prison. There were a lot of turned Endermen. How are we supposed to save everyone? Great idea! Before I left, I threw the potion into the prison, curing all the Endermen. Welcome back, guys! They were all amped to be normal again. Unfortunately, my dad wasn't there. I got on Enzo's back and we headed towards the castle. It was time to end this.
on days 196 through 199,
Enzo dropped me back off at the castle. You too, buddy. Enzo flew off into the distance, and I turned myself back towards the castle. It's go time. I entered the base and began to make my way to the Lord Shulker's throne room. This place is a maze. I went down some stairs, finding a separate prison. Dad!
Son!
How haven't you been turned into an Ender minion yet?
I can't explain it, but every time Lord Shulker tried to mind control me, I was able to block it.
Well, either way, I'm here to save you. Just as I was about to break the bars to his cell, I heard a monster scream upstairs. That doesn't sound good. I'll be right back, Dad.
Good luck, son.
On day 200,
I walked outside to confront the Lord Shulker. This is all over, Shulker.
This is only the beginning, Enderman. Soon my mind control will span every dimension, and the entire multiverse will be mine!
I already have a cure. You won't get away with this. I charged at Lord Shulker, when all of a sudden, both of us were teleported.
Can't have you messing up my new castle.
I again charged into fight, using my phantasmal blade. His hits were powerful, sending me back in pain. Ow! But I kept at it, using my teleporting more efficiently than ever before. This ends now! The fight continued, and I thought I wouldn't make it. Suddenly, though, Enzo appeared to help. Great work, Enzo!
No! This is our birthright! You can't take this from me!
I ignored him, continuing to teleport and use my blade. I also used my telekinesis to throw blocks at him. We went in for a final strike, defeating Lord Shulker. Enzo, we did it!